Well, hello there, boys and girls. How is everybody doing today? Well, if you've been watching the Weather Channel at all, it has been a weird week here in Georgia, all the way down to Florida. We're just not used to this. 6 inches of snow, really? Wow. All I can say, it was a lot of fun, but I think I'm ready for it to head on out the door. We've had enough. And let's face it, us Southern boys and girls, we don't drive on, well, most people don't drive on snow and ice very effectively. I don't think it's a big deal because I've spent plenty of time on those back roads, that red muddy clay. Same thing. Same set of rules apply. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Well, what are we going to do today? Well, nothing. Well, I do have something to announce. We've been trying to get in touch with this person, so I'm going to throw out at least his first name along with a last initial. We've been trying to get in touch with a Todd R for 2 weeks now because he is our projected winner of the 2019 Can-Am 1000R. So Todd, if you're out there, please check your inbox, your email account, and maybe even that the junk folder, because we've been trying pretty hard. And no, yes, I have tried to call you, and no, it's not somebody trying to sell you an extended warranty on your car or truck or whatever. So Todd R, if you're out there, you really need to go ahead and get in touch with us because you won that Can-Am that we built a few weeks ago, now a month or so ago. So that's pretty big news. Other than that, our crew our PRMX crew is out in Anaheim, California for round 2 of the Supercross series, and we'll send out well, be our setting up out there today. How's it going, Nathan? You want to tell us what's going on way out there in California?
I know I'm out here for the second time here in California for Anaheim A2, a part of the Monster Supercross AMA Championships here at Angel Stadium. I'm so excited. We have more awesome Partzilla merch. We have these cool fans that we just got. It says grip it and rip it so you can see it from the stands. It's so much fun. But yeah, we're out here again passing out free merch and swag and all sorts of really cool Partzilla stuff. So come by and visit us. We are right across from the Honda tent and Beta Racing tent. I'm actually looking right out at them right now, so you can see it with the giant Partzilla gorilla out in front of our truck. So check us out, and that's where we are.
When does the race actually start?
The race is tomorrow, Saturday at 5 o'clock. So the qualifying and all that sort of stuff happens tomorrow at 5. The main race happens around, I want to say 5:30ish or so. So coming up, but we're going to be out here from noon.
Okay, is Peacock going to be covering it as well for those that want to watch it?
Yep, you can watch it on Peacock and follow along with our racers. It's going to be a ton of fun. You can see the giant Partzilla logo on their jerseys, so it's kind of hard to miss.
Well, very good. Well, y'all have a big time out there, and you know me, I'm going to be working on something, but maybe I'll tune in as well.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, John, and we'll see you guys around.
All right, thanks, Nathan. Well, all right, guys. Y'all go check it out tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good event that you can view, like I said, on Peacock. So let's switch gears back over to whatever was sent in this week. Hank's put together a few that came in for me. And once again, if you need to email me something in particular, our email address to get to me is askpartzilla@youtube.partzilla.com. So, and that'll find its way directly to me when I do check it, and I do check it on a regular basis. So let's start off with Ryan Ching's bomb. Okay, not even going. I don't even know why I try to pronounce these names, but let's just call him Ryan. He said, "Impressive job straightening the Z125 frame." Ryan, I had fun doing that one. I had to think out of the box. It was it turned out well, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It turned out well. And he's got a question. The neck on my motorcycle is slightly bent outwards after I got in a wreck. Will I be able to bend it back? I don't see why not, but I'm not sure how you're going to accomplish that. Um, for those that haven't seen the video that he's talking about, it's just a small Z125 little Kawasaki, so it's got a metal frame, and I'm not afraid to do to work with that. Now, aluminum frames, I would steer away from that. Um, but on it actually they ran it into a cul-de-sac. The forks they were okay, but it bent it right at the neck, so I was able to take out the engine, embrace the engine points, and then push it back out. Now, what he's dealing with is it's already out and he's having to push it back in. So I'm not sure how how you can attach a jack or anything like that to push it back into position. So can can it be done? Potentially, but I'm not quite sure how you're going to grab a hold of it to pull it off. I just wish you luck. And hey, if you do end up coming up with a jig of some type to hold it still to get that done, love to see a picture of it and send it to that email address that I was talking about in the beginning. Julie Langford H4N. Son one, please tell me why my 2004 Honda TRX 400EX has gas in the oil. Julie, I've seen that happen a few times, and what the typical cause is your carburetor is of course got your float, then it has a little needle with a rubber stopper on the end of it, and that goes up and that shuts off fuel from coming into the float bowl at a particular level. Now, if that has a leak, it'll allow more fuel to come in, and guess what? It's going to overflow, but it should go out through the overflow tube. Now, if that tube happens to be stopped up, which happens especially in Southwest Georgia, then guess where it's going to go? Because of the position of where the airbox is and the engine intake's just a little bit lower. It's going to start filling up your engine. When it does that, it's going to go to your piston, and then it's going to wash slowly past those rings because it's not a perfect seal. There's no such thing. And hence, you're going to fill up your gear case or your crankcase with fuel. So that's what's happening. Noisy Boy R6. Hey, John, thanks for the great advice on the channel. Do you know what mileage should I do valve clearance and cam chain on the '09 Yamaha R6? My bike is at 67,600 kilometers, 42,000 miles, and she's running good. Is there any other things you would recommend to keep an eye out for? Kind regards. Thanks. Really, if you consistently change your oil, I'd like to do mine at like 75% of whatever range the manufacturer requests. That's just the way I feel about it. If you keep your oil changed and your air filter clean, that goes a long way to keeping everything happy inside of that engine. As to your question, I believe the valve adjustment on the R6 is like every 25,000 miles or somewhere in that neighborhood. And is that a little bit on the cautious side? Yeah, probably. But now that you're at 42, I'd say it's time to take a peek. But don't be surprised. I mean, you're going to open it up and get your feeler gauge after you've set it to top dead center on number one, and you'll be surprised. It'll probably be just fine. As far as your camming or your cam chain, it'll let you know by it's got X amount of tension or room that it can keep tension on it. it'll usually push that adjustment rider, if you will, right at a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. So as long as that tensioner is not extended all the way, your chain is good. So just keep going. At 42,000 miles, I wouldn't be concerned about it yet. In another 40, I'd probably take a look at it to make sure she's still within its reach. Randy Kincaid, just watch your Rancher 420 no start video. I've tried everything you said, and the solenoid clicks, so I figured it was bad. So I got a new solenoid and put it on, and it clicks just the same as the original one. Could it be my starter is bad? Well, Randy, I think you've nailed it. Just because it clicks, that is a really good indicator that it is working. But sometimes you'll have scored contacts when that connector comes up and hits, and if it's got scored ends on it, it's not going to let power pass through. That's when you would really need to use at least a test light to see if it's passing power from that one pole over to the other pole, which is heading over to your starter. But it sounds like you've already bought the contactor or the relay, if you will, and I would aim toward the solenoid. I would aim toward it being the starter at this point. Antonio Hollins, I have a 2006 Suzuki GSXR 600. I turn my key and the power lights come on. I can hear the fuel pump prime, but it won't start or crank over. Any ideas? Back to basics. And we were just talking about a solenoid clicking when you hit the start button. Are you hearing that? If so, get out your test light, see if it's sending power over to the starter. Well, there you go. If you're not even hearing a click and you use your test light to go to your solenoid and it's getting that trigger voltage, well, it could be your solenoid. Back from that, if it's not sending that signal, then you've got all kinds. Hey, are we back? All right, looks like we're back. I have no idea where we left off. We were talking about his 600RR. All right, he's got a CBR 600RR. He took it into the dealership, had all the fluid changed. Nice work. And he says it overheated 4 miles from the shop. He put in a new battery. I'm not sure why you did that, and got it home. Started it up today. It got up to temp. It died out, and the fan never came on. What am I looking at? And do I risk taking it back to the shop that overlooked whatever the issue is? Well, it sounds like when they changed out all your fluids, they did a not so good job of refilling your coolant. So evidently, you've got a large coolant air pocket in the system, and more than likely, it is not even letting your fan turn on because it's not the temperature switch is not actually touching any fluid. So I would say, well, let's go ahead with it cold. Go ahead and open it up, your radiator cap, and see what you got, and just go ahead and finish filling it up, and just do this yourself. You can do it. So fill it back up, start it back up, let it circulate, keep adding until it doesn't need any more, then close it up and take it for a spin, see what it does. And shame on that shop for messing you up like that. Hopefully it didn't damage it. All right, let's see what you for me for this week. Over there. All right, Jixer Squid asks, most, if not all, modern motorcycles engines are reliable with proper maintenance. Yep. What's the number one modification that slightly decreases the engine longevity? This is a two-part question. When you go in and you increase the airflow for your engine vis-a-vis better exhaust, different intake, something along those lines, and you don't compensate with giving it more fuel, that's going to lean it out, make it run hotter, may run a little bit faster, but that will bring an end to an engine a lot quicker than it should. My biggest pet peeve or observation on making a motorcycle or any engine last long, over maintain it. I said earlier, I usually change my oil at 75% of whatever the manufacturer tells me to do. If they say, well, do it every 6,000 miles for an oil change, well, I'm going to do it every 5,000. That has worked out well for me. I built the engine in my son's 1995 M3. He was 8 at the time. He's 27 now. And built it from scratch, and I've changed the oil in that car right at 3,500 miles every single time. We had to take off the valve cover because the valve cover gasket was leaking, and that engine looked like it was brand new. None of that tarnish buildup that you see most of the time when you open up an engine, that dark brown stuff. Nope, it looked like I just built it the day before. So that makes all the difference. Paul Gravinsky, how's it going, Paul? Although it's Friday, but it's still cold, John, so I had to send you an email of my new project, 2014 420 TE1. I had lots of diagnosing to do first. Good thing I checked the oil, which was zero. There was zero present. Oof. Then I thought I was going to be chasing some wiring issues, but even though we charged the battery and it said 12 volts, we had no cranking amps. I put the jump pack on and the ES started to shift. Thank goodness. Well, good. So you didn't need me after all on this. Paul could pretty easily be sitting on this side of the computer. Talented mechanic. I enjoy conversing with him. We kind of help each other back and forth on different projects that we're working on. That TTR110 asks, common fix to an ATV that revs up in neutral but turns won't go under load. My first guess at this point, you said ATV revs in neutral, but it won't go under load. That sounds to me like you're talking about a belt issue. You really need to give me your make and model, and that gives me a better direction to go. Whenever I've got a CVT system or a CVT propelled ATV or side by side, you says it just won't go. It's usually the belt, or not the belt, but the actual sheaths, because if they don't work in conjunction, either expanding or compressing at the right times, it's not going to move like it should, or if at all. And people put on new belts, but then they don't take into consideration that those sheaves and the pivot or the shifting points, if you will, the moving points, if they're not clean, it's going to get gunked up and it's not going to want to move through its full stroke. Kyle Reese Transportation says, hello, John. I have an 05 YFC R6. The transmission engine makes vibrating noise in neutral. I press the clutch and the sound goes away. Is that the input shaft bearing? Yeah, I'd say that you're definitely on it. In automotive terms, that's what I call a throwout bearing, and you can always hear it a mile away. It has that sickening kind of growling sound as soon as you push in the clutch, puts tension on it, and that usually shuts it up. So that's more than likely what you're hearing. Um, yeah, I would look at that one first and see if that's it. Paul came back. I'll take some rip it and grip it sign from my shop. I think we can arrange that, Paul. Um, that fuel injection, John, is tight. The TRX 420 fired right up, first squeeze, nothing like um, getting something going right in this 21-degree weather that we're never supposed to have. Yeah, no doubt. And he also said, "Oh yeah, that solenoid was toast. I could not even jump the terminals." Hope my issues on this customer's TRX will help some other listeners out. That's what it's about, Paul, because there are very few times I run into something where there's only one. It's only happened one time, especially a unit like the TRX 420. There's so many of them out there. Chances are somebody's already had it and figured it out, had the problem and figured it out, and it helps all of us in the long run if we share that information. I just happen to be doing it in front of a camera. All right, kids, was that it? We got anything else? Hank, is that it from everybody? You didn't tell me to quit yet, and I don't see anything else on my Skype. All right, guys. Well, unless Hank comes back up, he says that's a wrap. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. Once again, y'all go check out the Partzilla team PRMX. They're going to be racing tomorrow, I think, starting around 5 o'clock in Anaheim, and you can see it on the Peacock channel. So go check them out. And anybody that happens to be watching this that's actually watching the race, well, go see Nathan at the PRMX. It's not a bus; it's a tractor trailer. The thing's huge. Can't miss it. It says Partzilla all the way down the side of it. So y'all go check him out, and he can set you up with some Partzilla merch. And Paul, I'll make sure that Nathan holds back just one of those little BRAP cards, and we'll get it sent out to you. Sound like a deal? All right, kids. Everybody have a great weekend, a great week, and God willing, we will get together next Friday, do it again, and maybe, just maybe, we will have all our IT problems straightened out, and I won't freeze up on you again. All right, y'all take care. I'm out.